you don't really know who you are or what you are until you put a really big challenge in front of you.
Fear is an asset and ally here to help you be magnificent.
This crazy, silly, stupid idea to run across the Sahara Desert.
You did make it this time, but you said if you didn't make it, you would try again and again.
Everybody's connected to nature, connected to music, to their families, and now we're going to build a world that doesn't have racism and war and starving kids.
I kept telling myself, run at me, and just keep smiling.
Some credit.
All right, Lars, we're rolling. Oh, careful. Let's start that one over.
Yes. Good idea.
All right, Lars, thank you very much for taking a little jog with me today.
All right, yes. Any excuse to go for a run.
All right.
Good excuse.
So first question, just to kick us off, can you describe for our members who are hopefully walking or running along with us right now where we are?
Yeah, we're in the Brooklyn Navy Yard where we have our office. I work for Weav Music. Super cool place full of amazing startups and an actual functioning shipyard where ships come in and get repaired.
Yeah, so I was looking out to like a big, see if we go this way. A lot of construction going on here. It's a very hip part of Brooklyn, kind of going through a renaissance. But there's still actually like real ships in there getting worked on, right?
Yeah, the Navy, I think, owns it. A bunch of Navy ships come in. This big supply ship the other day came in for repairs. And it's a beautiful view from the office to be looking at these ships coming in. And then there's tons of startups here. Lots of like new artisanal manufacturing going on. Creative agencies, and then software companies like ours.
Software companies like yours. So let's jump into it then. Let's tell everybody what your little software company is. What is Weav Running?
So we make adaptive music for running. So if you try downloading Weav Run, I wish I could, maybe I can actually even play it here.
Maybe hear some of it on the podcast.
We'll see if I can make it work. I should have set up. But so you download the app, you pick music, and then the music automatically adapts to your movements. So that no matter how slow or fast you run, every step lands on a beat.
So the faster you run, the faster the music plays. The slower you run, the slower the music plays.
Exactly. Let's see if we can get this going.
Pump that up a little bit. Okay, let's see if we can hear that. And so if we go faster, will that go faster?
Yeah, let's try that. Let's try and slow down first.
Slow down.
Okay, go for a walk. And so now the music is playing in sync with my walking.
Right.
And now let's try and run. And you see the music immediately picks up.
Wow.
And it totally matches my steps.
Huh. And it doesn't sound like it's like Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's like actually like sounds like a new song almost.
Yeah, it's actually a remix. Yeah, so we take the same song you're listening to, and then we remix it to sound perfect at your new tempo. Whether you're walking or jogging or running or sprinting, it always works.
So does it work with like any song? Could I like put like Bruce Springsteen in there, or is it like a certain menu of songs?
No, so we have a library of songs that can do this. We actually work with the artist and their labels to figure out what should this song sound like at 180 beats per minute so that it matches you no matter how fast you run, and it always sounds like beautiful music.
Huh. So how many songs are on the platform now?
Oh, it's about 400.
Wow.
We release
That's a lot more than the last time
I know.
we spoke.
We release new music every Monday now.
Wow.
We call it More Music Monday. We got Backstreet Boys. We got the Chainsmokers, Mariah Carey. Lots of the like top artists have come out onto the platform recently.
And who is this that we're listening to?
This is Camilla Cabello.
Okay.
You know, with the Havana hit.
Sorry, I'm not.
You're not into.
It's outside of my range of artists born in New Jersey. But
Bruce Springsteen, right? I got it.
But no, that it sounds cool. Like, and I've used the app before, so I kind of know. But asking some leading questions here to tell people who don't know, it's really cool how you run faster, the music gets faster, but also you can set the tempo that you want, right?
Yeah, that's right. If I click this button here, I'll pick fixed tempo, then I get to pick. Like, let's do 178.
Yeah.
And then I just follow the music.
And so that helps you set your own cadence to the rhythm of the music.
Exactly. Like for people who know what cadence, how many steps per minute they like to run at, this is a super good way. And even like when I started running, my cadence was too low.
Okay.
And I would overstride, causing all kinds of problems for my shins.
Yep.
Super painful. And the app really helped me fix that. Like every time I went running, I would play the music 2 beats per minute faster than last time.
Huh.
And got my cadence up from like 156 to around 180.
And that helps you shorten your stride a little bit.
That's right.
Keep your balance.
I land on my midfoot now, my forefoot. Totally cured my shins.
There you go. Once I learned how to run with that type of balance where I wasn't overstriding, never had any knee or shin problems.
That's the big
Totally
difference.
Changed. So, to that point, how long, you've been like a lifetime runner, right? That you came to this? It's been a big passion of yours?
No. I hadn't run for 30 years when I started doing this. And we just kind of like tripped over this cool concept with music, realized it was perfect for running. Called this running app, and then like, shit, I really need to start running.
You're going to make a running app.
I tell you, like 1 mile in, I couldn't walk.
So you weren't a runner. So you really kind of just you had the app for a while before you even started to like get into the running. So I think that this year you started like a mile a day.
Yeah, on January 1st I had done like 30-day streaks.
Yep.
Where I run at least a mile every day for like 30 days. I've done this a couple of times. And then on January 1st, I'm like, I'm going to do this for real. So every day since January 1st, today is, this is run 291 in a row.
That's awesome.
A mile every day.
And so how has that been for you? Have you liked it? I mean, you look like you've lost a ton of weight.
Oh yeah, I lost maybe 30 pounds since I started this. And a lot of it is the running, a lot of it is like studying how to get your body to burn fat.
Yep. Are you doing the keto thing?
I did the keto thing for a while.
I'm trying that now.
The first 3 months, super effective.
Yep.
But then also just like realizing, I'm actually doing on Monday this assessment at a sports lab here in town.
Uh-huh.
To try and figure out exactly at which pace I burn the most fat.
Huh.
There are, formulas out there that, in my case, I'm 51. There's this estimate that I should run with a heart rate at around 130.
Right. 180 minus your age, right?
Exactly. To burn the most fat.
Okay.
And I want to go test that in a lab to see if that actually is true.
Okay.
But it's, the science is super interesting to try and get your body to burn more fat by either eating fat, like in the keto diet, or by running at actually really moderate tempo.
What you're doing now.
Yeah. Like I used to like train at maybe 8.5 minute miles.
Yeah.
And then when I started realizing that I was probably burning 100% carbs at that point,
Okay.
I slowed down to 130 heart rate.
Uh-huh. What are we now?
Let's see.
130 on the money.
On the money. Then I'm like running. I started at around 11:30.
Oh.
Felt super slow. But little by little, at the same heart rate, I can get a little bit faster. Like I'm probably like 10:40 now after a month of running only at 130 heart rate.
Wow. So you're just getting faster at the same. And so, how have you liked running? I mean, because I know for a while you were like a little bit lukewarm on it. How have you liked it?
You'll be very diplomatic. I hated it. I mean, it was painful in the beginning. I did that mile a day thing.
Yeah.
I could barely walk afterwards. Not from fatigue, but from inflammation in my joints. Like the shin splint killed me. Like I was the ice and ibuprofen and all this stuff. It's terrible. But then, in part using this app with the music, little by little my form improved. And my fitness, of course, too. And it went from being actually painful to being tolerable. And then there was this, I remember the day, actually, I don't remember the date, but I remember the day I started taking more lessons about running form.
Yep.
And suddenly I started really liking it. Like,
Was there a particular run that you remember where you were like, it kind of clicked, or was it over a certain time?
Well, there was one run I remember.
Well, we're about to go over the Manhattan Bridge. We might want to turn it around.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go to Manhattan.
It's not. I really don't know my way around here. We only moved into the Navy Yard like 3 weeks ago.
Let's go on the side of the street.
Yeah.
So was there a particular run?
Yeah, so what happened was, I get more and more into running. It's kind of my job with Weav Run, the app here. And I started reading things about running form. Since the experience of shortening my stride had such a big impact, I thought, what if there are other things I can learn that would be making better? And so I tipped over this thing. It's a woman who runs a company called The Balanced Runner.
Yep.
And she teaches a method called Feldenkrais.
Yep.
Difficult to explain, but it's like...
Difficult to pronounce.
Yeah, it's like as close to magic as anything I've ever experienced, even though it's perfectly scientifically understandable. But she took me through a bunch of exercises that little by little improved my running form on a kind of whole body way. And 3 weeks in, there was one run where suddenly, like before then, running felt like something my legs did. And the rest of my body's like keeping balance so I don't fall over.
Yep.
But suddenly running started being a whole body thing. Where actually most of the power comes from the core.
Yep.
And the legs are just kind of following. And, I think our bodies are obviously designed to run over millions and millions of years of evolution. And I had just forgotten how to run.
Right. Were you athletic growing up?
No, not really.
And where did you grow up, by the way? Because I know that's not a New Jersey accent.
Not New Jersey. No, I grew up in Copenhagen, Denmark. I was born and raised in Denmark. Moved to America in maybe 94 to go to college in California. But, I think suddenly this woman, the Balanced Runner founder, kind of unlocked some movement patterns that were really designed to do. And kind of I have a 3-year-old like you do.
Yep.
And you see her run.
Just natural.
She's loving it.
Yeah.
She's every morning she wants to race me to school. She always wins.
Yeah.
But you can just tell that the actual physical movement she does, she's in love with that.
Yes.
And that's what I'm starting to find again. That when I'm not running, every now and then I'll be I wish I was running now. Because it feels good.
Kind of reconnecting with something.
Something that we're
natural
really designed to do. I think other sports like cycling and swimming and so on, that's not really the way we're built to move. That's something we've invented. But running is the way we used to get around back in the day, when we were hunting animals or running away from animals. That's how we did it, right?
Right.
And I like to think I've refound that. And so it's causing problems in my marriage a little bit. And my wife thinks I'm more in love with running than her now, which is not true. I should just clarify. But it's really exciting.
Well, that's interesting, because I also know, and I'd love for you to share some of the backstory for how you came up with the idea for Weav in the first place. It was also related to
my wife.
To your wife.
Who's also my co-founder
Right,
and
who's also
the
your co-founder.
CEO of the company. Yeah, we. It's a funny story because it started with an argument, which was my fault, as always.
Naturally.
I forget what it was about, but it was definitely my fault. And so Ella, my wife, got to devise her punishment. And she's like, I'm going to bring a metronome into our bedroom. Do you know metronome?
Yes, I know.
You know, the tick-tock thing that musicians use to stay on beat. And she's like, I'm going to bring this into our bedroom. I'm going to set the tempo to whatever I want. You have to make love to me in sync with the metronome. That was her super harsh punishment. And then she was like, and if I ever want to change the tempo, I have the right to do that. You have to adapt to my speed. It was like she was like remote controlling me with this device, which was fun, lots of fun. And then when we talked about it afterwards, she was like, "Hey, that was awesome. I agree, but the TikTok of this thing gets a little boring to listen to." And she's like, "Lars, I'm a software engineer by training," and she like, "Go out in Geekland and find technology that can change the tempo of music instead, so that I can remote control you in the bedroom by changing the tempo of the song." Right? And so I did go out and look for this. And it turns out, there is such a thing, and like every DJ, every producer has such a thing. It's just that if you take a song and you change its tempo a lot, it stops sounding like music.
Starts sounding like Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Exactly. Or the reverse, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like it's quite
Or
awful
like
to listen
drunk.
to.
They make it too slow.
Yeah. And so we talked to some actual musicians, and they're like, yeah, of course, because the arrangement of the song, the genre, the vibe that the artist has chosen for their song really only works in this very narrow range of tempos. And if you want to go outside that range, you have to also change the arrangements, the genre, the instruments. But we're actually all used to that if you go to a dance club and you hear a radio hit in a dance club, you typically listen to a remix. Higher tempo, different vibe, more dancey beat.
Right.
And so we set out, just for the fun of it, it's a hobby thing, to build technology that could do this, where the listener can change the tempo of the song, and then we change the arrangement to make it sound good again. All of it designed to support a fun game for lovers in the bedroom. Not running.
Not for running.
But then when we made it work, everyone we played that song to, that first song we did, they had a different use case for it. Like my cousin, the crazy runner in the family, she's like, I want that when I'm running, so that I can run in sync with the beat, no matter how fast or slow I run. And so we build a running app. And, and we'll build a lover's product around the music later. But, it makes sense. We should get people fit first.
Exactly. I was going to say, there definitely should be an overlap between the running and the loving.
Exactly.
So how have you, not having a background in running, and now you're fully immersed in this running world, you just ran your first half marathon last week. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, I still feel that in the legs, as you can tell.
Making you run a little bit more. Do you think you want to do another half marathon?
Yeah, actually we are, so we did this as a team. Everyone else, we're all software engineers. None of us were particularly runners, but like half the company ran that Staten half on Sunday. And we're thinking to do a couple more. There's one in Queens in November, one in Central Park in December.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if we can find a full marathon in the spring. Do you have a favorite spring marathon?
A full in the spring? Well, Boston, but that's hard to get into.
Yeah, I know.
No, there's a lot of good ones. I'll look into some for you.
Yeah, we're looking at London.
Oh, yeah.
London has a big one.
Yep.
LA a little closer. My hometown, Copenhagen, has one. I think London, because it's so big. And
Yeah.
we actually started the company while we still lived in London
Right.
too, so it'll be fun.
And so because you started other companies before outside the running world. And by the way, just to give a little people perspective, what was one of the things that you founded?
Well, I think my biggest success so far is I helped start Google Maps.
What's that?
Google Maps.
What is Google Maps?
It's a thing you can use on your phone, not to get lost like we just did because we were
Not paying
not
attention.
looking at Google Maps. Yeah, it was a startup my brother and I did more than 15 years ago. Man, time flies. And worked on it for a couple of years, and then we sold it to Google and launched our technology as Google Maps.
Amazing.
It's been a huge success, of course. We're super proud of that.
And then you were at another small startup. Rhymes. What was it? It's like a small thing out in California. Was it Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook. After Google, it's kind of like a common career path for software engineers. I did like 7 years at Google. Loved it there. Switched to Facebook. Was there maybe 5 years. And yeah.
What's like the difference between working at these big companies like that, founding something as big as Google Maps, and now founding a running app?
Well,
Which no doubt will one day be as big as Google
big,
Maps.
Yeah, no, that's the plan. But it's funny because I'm not really made for big companies. You want to launch something, and then there's an enormous amount of people that needs to be consulted.
Yeah.
In marketing and legal and PR, and every conceivable person there needs to be involved, and it can slow things down. Like now, I work for my own 10-person company, and whenever we need to do something, I'm like, where are all those people who used to do the work? Shit, I have to do it all myself now. And anyway, I'm Danish. I'm never content, But it's a very different kind of fun to be your own little 10-person company. Always running out of money.
Yeah.
Never having anywhere near the resources you need. It makes you really focus in a very unique way. That's kind of exciting.
Has it kind of how has that journey melded with your journey in running? Have you found any metaphors in the running that have helped you?
It's definitely a marathon. Definitely a marathon where you're always out of breath.
Yeah. See, people sometimes say that it's always a marathon, and I don't think it's a marathon, because a marathon you're always going in the same direction as everyone else. And if you keep putting your one foot in front of the other, you'll get there. Whereas I find that this journey, yeah. But I've found that the metaphor is more like the Hunger Games. Like, you never know where some like random monster's going to come out of the woods. You don't know which way to go.
Yeah, true.
But you still got to keep moving.
I can tell you're running a startup too, but I knew that already.
I knew that already. But I also find a lot in what you were saying before about the Feldenkrais and the balance and shortening your stride and keeping your heart rate low. That's something that I've really been coming to.
Oh no, we're at 135 here.
Uh-oh. Well, we're kind of going up a slight incline here.
Don't forget I'm old.
Hardly. Finding that balance so that you're keeping your feet under you, keeping your balance, keeping your stride short, your heart rate. Sometimes you go too damn hard, or I've found myself going too damn hard. And I needed to kind of come more within myself to find that rhythm, to go with your music metaphor.
Yeah, no, I like it. This is a good analogy. It's like a Hunger Game musical marathon.
So, what are some of the things that you are most excited about for Weav coming up?
Well, so we have our own running app. It's called Weav Run.
Weav Run.
Definitely download it.
Yep.
Or you can go. We're very proud of this fact. But if you search for running music in the iPhone's App Store, we're the first hit. We're like the top
big.
running music app on iOS, and we're excited about that. But we really want to make this technology and the music available to anyone building fitness experiences. And, Peloton,
Yeah.
big fitness company, just went public.
Yep.
They made an investment in our company,
Oh, that's wonderful.
and we're super excited about that
That's huge.
and what might come out of it.
Yeah. That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, it's a really big deal. Like, we've been talking to people in the field, of course, about what we think adaptive music can do,
Right?
not just in running, but in any fitness context. And now we've reached a stage of maturity where it starts becoming actually interesting to a big company like Peloton.
That's great. Wow, so what are some of the things you're going to be doing with Peloton?
I can't tell you that.
Can't tell me.
It's
Okay.
super secret.
All right, so that'll be the sequel podcast.
Yes.
By the way, I think we might have... Did we get lost and go too far on the way back?
I think we did.
Figures running with the founder of Google Maps, and
But
you get lost a little bit.
most people assume because I built Google Maps, I was part of building Google Maps, that I have a good sense of direction, but it's quite the opposite.
You built it because you had no sense of direction.
Zero. I'm like the equivalent of dyslexic when it comes to a sense of direction. And it's a joke that never stops giving. The maps guy got lost again.
Exactly. Like most great inventions, it's born out of necessity.
Yeah, I'm convinced the best dictionaries are made by dyslexic people
Yeah, who can't stop?
who really need it, right? So,
Exactly.
the best social networks made by possibly slightly awkward. No, I shouldn't say that. But yeah, definitely we started maps because we just need maps all the time. And we're just tired of having to look in books all the time.
So actually on the metaphor point with regards to that, outside of running or with running or anything else, you've obviously been very successful in your life. What are certain things other than metronomic music that you use to guide you in your kind of big life decisions or goals, your dreams? What things help you find your center in life? Maybe we'll just use this as a little something that the rest of the people out there can kind of draw from for themselves.
Yeah, that's a good question. I get asked occasionally by younger people, not to belabor the fact that I'm not all that young anymore. But I know people who make decisions by, pros and cons.
Yep.
Build a spreadsheet, write down all the pros and cons of different paths you can take.
Yep.
And that has never worked for me. Not that there's anything wrong with it. That just never works for me. I really go with sort of a deliberate gut decision.
Okay.
Where try to the best of my abilities to imagine, to pretend I've made one decision, to take a right turn.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm running down that path, whatever it is, a job at Google versus Facebook versus starting my own company. I pretend I've made my choice. And while I'm doing that thing, I'm thinking about the other choices I didn't make and see how that feels. What's my level of regret when I read articles about the other path I didn't take? And then I do it in reverse for a few days, right? I pretend I've gone down the other route. I've taken the left turn, and I'm reading articles about the right turn I didn't take. What's my level of regret?
Uh-huh.
And I think when you find the path that doesn't give you any level of regret, that's the right path for you. I think you sometimes tend to go with the slightly safe bet.
Yep.
And then you long for the more adventurous, more exciting, probably riskier bet.
Yeah.
And that's where that sense of regret, what if, comes from. And by going through this exercise very deliberately, I find that the more adventurous, more risky, more exciting, unknown territory.
Less regret in taking the path not taken. So it's
Exactly, yeah.
Although they say that, who wrote that? Frost. Robert Frost wrote that poem, The Path Not Taken. My English teacher back in high school told me that he wrote that sarcastically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that. But anyway, that's another topic. How about, and not to belabor the metaphor anymore, as we kind of come around back to where we started, I think we'll want to go this way, actually. Right? What are some things that you do to help you find your rhythm and your balance?
Well, I tune the music. This is 172, which matches.
Is that in life the rhythm that you should be operating at?
Well, it's what I'm trying out now. It's slower than I used to do. To try and do my running at a relatively modest heart rate. So it turns out for me, 172 steps per minute. That matches about 130 beats per minute heart rate.
There you go.
Which took a while to figure out, of course. Breaths here without dying. What do I use? That's a good question. My wife, more than anything, she's the inspiration for a lot of stuff I do. In fact, she probably doesn't remember this, but a few years ago, I was looking, there was some guy, maybe Usain Bolt, with his shirt off, and he's looking kind of fit.
Yeah.
And I made some comment about how...
Well, you kind of look like Usain Bolt now.
Well, no, but so the thing is that she said, yeah, he's good looking, but I like the long distance runner body type better.
Okay.
And so that's the real reason that I'm out.
There you go.
Half marathon. She won't remember this, but it really stuck in my head. I should stop looking like Usain Bolt. I never looked like Usain Bolt, but I wanted to.
The Danish Usain Bolt.
But so that's why I'm doing distance running and not sprinting.
There you go.
To try and make my wife love me more.
There you go.
More. I mean, I think she already. We just got married, by the way.
I didn't know that. Yeah, how is it?
Back in June
In Greece.
It was in Greece. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Congratulations.
Best week of my life. It was a whole week
I bet.
thing. It was amazing.
Yeah, running, actually, women has a way of doing that, at least with running. I've told the story on the podcast before. The reason I ran my first marathon is because I met a girl while running who told me that she was running the Chicago Marathon. I said, oh, really? Me too. So I had to go home that night and sign up for it.
Yeah. No, I completely hear you. I got to say, I would not have thought if you asked me 6 months ago, are you planning to do a half mile? I'd be like, never. It's just not me. And I was kind of surprised I did it. It was hard. It was actually funny. It was fun and delightful exactly up till the 12-mile marker. And what happened was totally in my head, by the way, because I was like running with, of course, Weav Run for the music,
Yep.
but I also had Strava on that gives you split times, right?
Yep.
But Strava uses GPS, which is always a little imprecise. And when Strava said, okay, you got into mile 12, the time was well on target. I was going to do like 1:57 or something. It's just what I wanted. It's great. And then half a mile later, after Strava had told me I got into mile 12.
You passed the marker.
I passed the marker. So you're mile 12. And that just killed me. The fact that there was like a mile and a half when I thought there was a mile left.
Exactly.
Like psychologically, it killed me. And then I had stayed like well under 9 minutes for every mile up until then, and then the last one was like 12 minutes.
Yep.
And I got in at 2 hours and 50 seconds, and so now I have to do it again.
There you go.
But it's like Kipchoge. He took 2 attempts to get under 2 as well.
Exactly.
So there.
That's awesome. All right, well, we're back at your very cool Navy Yard office building here. Hopefully the wind wasn't too bad out there, but I thoroughly enjoyed the run, and hope the audio comes out good for everybody else, and I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, of course. And this got me also I have to run every day.
Yeah, this is your mile a day.
So thanks for that.
You bet. And hopefully everyone else out there enjoyed this as much as I did. Lars, thanks very much.
Yeah, pleasure anytime. Big
And
fan
that's-
of Charity Miles, too.
Weav Run. So it's in the App Store, WEAV, right?
Yeah, Weav Run. Or just search for running music, and
Running
we're the
music
first
and all the
hit.
things that come
Weav
with that.
Run. And try it out.
Everybody check it out. Lars, thanks a lot. Thanks to everyone out there for joining us. Every mile matters. Yeah, that was awesome.